what attributes do you need to be a good business owner? I mean, you need a lot of attributes. Like you need to have the right bookkeepers, accountants. You need to employ those people off the bat, so your everything is dialed in. Your P&Ls and your balance sheets, and you don't necessarily need to do that, but you need to work on the business, not in the business.
Oh, I want to share with you something I heard Codie Sanchez say the other day in a YouTube video. It is the first time I've heard her say it. I am sure she has said it hundreds of times, but I wanted to share it with you. But before that, Bo, how you doing?
I am doing well. I'm super busy, which I love being busy. It's just running around and just keeping myself extremely busy, putting out fires and
Yeah.
solving problems. And
Yeah.
everything is solvable. I like
Mhm.
when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, this bank told me that I can't buy a franchise." So we had a client that wanted to buy a franchise in another state because this model is like an investor model, and you hire a district manager, and he went and he got referred to like a prominent franchise lender broker that does all franchise, and they said no, you have to live within a 2.5 hour radius because the banks won't fund this deal.
Mm.
So that is not a guideline, that is a overlay that a bank puts on. And
Overlay. Yep.
so they tell this guy no, and I'm like, hey, I don't believe in the word no. So I, through the network, I found a bank that said, yes, if there's compensating factors, we'll entertain that deal. So we've got that going into underwriting. And I
Nice.
like doing that. I look, when you go, most people think they should go to their local bank and they should just like take, they should just,
Yeah.
whatever that bank tells you, it's my local bank, it's US Bank, it's one of the big banks. And they said, no, I can't do it. Trust me, guidelines for banks are all over the place.
Mhm.
And that's why you should talk to somebody that works with multiple lenders.
Yeah, you got to talk with the broker. And if you're going to do something in small business and you follow my channel and you're not at least reaching out to the concierge to small business lending, you're making a mistake. If he can't help you, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely something. But let me share with you what Codie said, and it's I agree with her, and I'm very thankful she said it. She basically was on I forget whose channel it was on, Dropping Bombs. I forget the creator. That's his channel, Dropping Bombs. And she was basically saying, hey, if you listen to me, you get excited about buying boring businesses, and then you just go out and buy one because you have money, you're an idiot. It's harder than that. You have to do the work. You have to do the due diligence. Why are you paying that price? You don't even know yet, right? So the thing that I loved about Codie is she is wonderful storyteller. She can get people excited. And again, I'm sure she said it before, but it's the first time I heard it where she's saying, hey, do the work. There are no free lunches. You can't skip the line. Don't waste money because then you're going to hate me and you'll never buy a second one. So again, that just speaks to me, right? Do the work, do the diligence, no skipping the line. What do you think of all that?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think a lot of times we just think we can park money somewhere and we're going to get a return. Unless you're doing something in more of a passive model, that's not usually the case. I think the only case you can really be as passive as possible is if you have a well taken care of house and it's professionally managed by a really good property manager. That's as passive as you're going to get. Okay.
Yeah, that or
There's
be the
no,
bank, right? Have a big stack of cash that you lend out, kind of
yeah,
passive.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's passive to me. Now, can you be semi-passive in a business? Yes, you can.
Right.
What attributes do you need to be a good business owner? I mean, you need a lot of attributes. Like you need to have the right bookkeepers, accountants. You need to employ those people off the bat, so your everything is dialed in. Your P&Ls and your balance sheets, and you don't necessarily need to do that, but you need to work on the business, not in the business. I go back to Michael Gruber's E-Myth book, right, where he talks
Yeah.
about working on the business. And you also have to understand people. Like you have to be a good people person. If you're going to have
Yeah.
employees, you're going to get people that call in sick, and you're going to have to
Mhm.
you're going to have to build morale in your organization. You're going to have to deal with problems between employees. You're going to have to deal with no-shows.
Yeah.
You're going to have to figure out complaints on if you own a painting company and like the service wasn't done great, and you get called back 5 times to touch up stuff on the paint
Yeah.
job. I mean, there's problems. It's not like you can just put your money in and go and hide. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I talk about I do think everybody should own a business, but I think owning a business, you should know what you're getting into. So maybe it's just
Yeah.
owning a very passive business model like vending, where you spend an hour per week per machine, and you're got an app and it tells you when to go fill it out. The problem you deal with there mostly is machine getting jammed or something like that, right? Maybe you have a technician that does that. So understanding, and then if you get into more of a moving part business, like let's just say you own a Sia Bowl franchise, and now you've got employees, you got to order product and things like that. You really need to hire a really good general manager and be able to manage that manager, and then also how you implement your systems are very important. So maybe do you put does that general manager, is he or she incentivized to grow the business, to treat it like their own business? So
Hmm.
maybe you have some revenue share with them, right, to motivate them that they're getting profit based on how well the store or the location or the service business is doing. So all
Yeah.
this is, it needs to be accounted for. I think people out there, if you know what you're getting into and you really think things through, but I always go back to pain points. This is
Yeah.
why Bo will not buy out of state rental properties anymore,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of pain points that you deal with and you're just out of control because you can't get somebody to fix a sewer line, and then you don't know if that 13 grand you paid for it was getting ripped off or not, right? So think about
Yeah.
the pain points.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say about what I heard from Cody and what I really felt is again, it's very much like real estate. You make your money when you buy, right? If you try to jump the line, you just pay list price because you think you have to, or you have the cash or whatever. That's not the right thing to do. You got to go figure out what an average deal looks like. You got to negotiate great deals. The only, you're not going to fix the purchase price after you bought it. So spend the time, make sure you're getting a right deal for you. Also, in today's world, structure a deal where the seller takes back a little piece, a delayed, have them, get more money a couple of years in after running the business or whatever. So I just think there's a lot of truth that Cody seems to be going from getting people excited to, hey, I'm glad you're excited now, but do the work. Make sure you're getting the best deal possible. Make sure you got to operate it and, protect yourself.
I joined one of her webinars where the last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty good. And then she obviously has coaching, and she's just how many people were on that, and how many people probably paid 10 grand for her coaching
Yeah.
program. I think it was like 10 grand a year for her coaching program.
Woo.
So it's she has multiple businesses, and just you think everything she does is a business. Her YouTube
Oh
channel,
yeah.
she's making thousands of dollars probably per video,
Probably.
because the
Yeah.
amount of views she's getting. She then has her courses, right? She has 27 something other businesses. And
Hmm.
then she's like, she had like a company that does video editing, right? Because that's what she needed it. And
Yeah.
she just bought it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so what can you plug in? So I had that's what I was talking about with the real estate guys yesterday. Is there a business you can plug in that will feed you
Yeah.
new listings?
Yeah.
And so that's what I like Cody, how she teaches that. I think that's really important. What
I agree.
businesses, like, in theory, if you were still active in real estate more than
Hmm.
you're more of a passive investor. I mean,
Sure.
most of your business model, you got a portfolio,
Yep.
but you could invest and
Oh,
own. You could buy a property.
landscaping, painter, property manager. There's so many things
Yeah,
um, that I could do. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you needed to make money and you weren't at the position where you were, that's what you would do. You'd go,
For
okay,
sure.
look, I'm servicing 100 and something doors myself.
Yep.
If I had a painting company, if I had a pest control company, you could build this. And I like that. And these service-based businesses are
Hmm.
fairly
Yeah.
inexpensive to start, and you just
Exactly.
layer those in. So I think you got to think about this, because it's not like buying a long-term rental property where you set it and forget it once you get it with a good property manager. There's a
Hmm.
lot of moving parts, and I think I'm glad Cody brought that up, because I think it's true. I want everybody to own a business, but I also need to let everybody know that, look,
It's hard
it's
work.
a yeah,
Takes
it's
work.
hard work.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, if you want to schedule time with the concierge small business lending and figure out what might be right for you, how do they do that, Bo?
Just go to onerentalmeeting.com.
OneRentalMeeting.com, folks. He bought a URL just for us. OneRentalMeeting.com. Thank you, Bo.
Thank you. See you guys.